Well, this little video, it's only a little short one. We're going to replace the steering knuckles on my John Deere 1640 with the APL 325 front diff. Now, the old one and the new one are a little different. Now, look, they do the same job. This one has a split in it and a clamp to lock it in, where the Sparex one has a lock nut here, which, look, it's a great idea. The original one has a 6-sided, has a hex there. The aftermarket has 4. That's not going to matter at all. But apart from that, it looks pretty well the same. The knuckle end is the Sparex an S65811, and the outer is an S7810. So the left and right on this tractor are the same. Now on an APL 345, the later axles, this will have a curl in it. It curls around to give it more steering lock, I believe, with the bigger housings. But and this then has a left and a right, but the knuckle in the centre is the same. So we'll just run through changing that out. First thing is undo the split pin under the axle here, and you undo the nut that holds the knuckle. It's a castellated nut. You undo the nut that holds the knuckle in the side here, and then with a bar in here, so a bar levering like that, you smack here and it comes off. Not that easy, of course. I've had this one apart. So and what I often do is loosen the nut off and then put it back on a couple of threads, so that if you're trying to hit this and you have a mishit, you don't wreck the thread, in case you're using this one again and you're just doing, changing knuckles over or something like that. So at this stage, that's loose. We've done the hard yards there. I'll just pop that in there, and the idea is just to keep everything in line for what we're doing, and in the film, and in the frame, which is always a problem. Okay, we need a 13mm socket. Now this thing I'm undoing here, it's a steering stop. So you undo the bolt, the centre comes out, and this piece inside then bumps off. So look, that's what it looks like. That sits hard up against the back of the knuckle. So it sits hard up against the knuckle like that, and because the cylinder inside there has a round housing away from the gland nut, this actually, when you turn hard one way, this actually goes up against the steering cylinder and bottoms it out. This model doesn't have steering stops in the knuckle. Some of them, there is a hole top and bottom here, and some of them had a housing up here where you could adjust the steering stop, but in our little axle, we just have this little fella here. So we're replacing the whole lot. So if you were just replacing this rubber, you would undo the outer here. You can screw this one off and just put a new rubber over there, and away you go, and put a new rubber out here. So I will undo the clamp. So the little clamp that holds it all together. So we're just trying to loosen that off. And so with that loosened off, if you needed to adjust your toe in, this is where you do it here. So on the hex here, yeah, you can go in or out. So on the hex, when you make this longer at the back, it goes in at the front and you end up with toe in. On a four-wheel drive, you want it as close to true as you can. So you can't do this. We've got the wheels off for filming and that, and that's how you adjust your tie rod ends. That's how you adjust that bit. Now, to get this piece off here, by looking at our new one, we can see we have a thread that goes up into the cylinder here. So sometimes, I'll just come over here, sometimes you can just put a spanner on one side and it will come. This knuckle on the other side, it's turning on that as well. So at times you need to put a spanner on the one on the other side so you can hold against yourself here. Now, I can't remember what size this is going to be. Probably about 1 1/16 or 27 mil, something like that. And so we can bring this spanner around here against the axle, and then with our shifter here, hopefully we can undo it. Now, I might have to get serious. These do get tight. I'll just see if I can get it with these Stilsons. Now, we're throwing it away, that's why I don't mind using this. Oh, there we go. Man. Yeah, I tried a 1 7/8" spanner on the flat and it didn't quite fit. An 1 3/4" was my neck size. I didn't have 1 13/16, so, which is what I think it is. So, okay, so once we've taken that out, we've been a bit rough and we've got that fella out. That can go around there. Keep your finger out of there by the sound of that. This whole jalopy will unscrew. Okay, so there's your knuckle apart. Now what I have to check here is on the new knuckle to put the stop on here. That goes on okay. Yep, and that'll bolt in there, and that just goes right up hard against the knuckle. This needs cleaning out in here, so we'll get any rubbish out of that. So this is the knuckle side. No, it's not. That's the knuckle side, and that's the cylinder side where the wear is there, so it goes that way. So we're happy with that. Okay, CRC nickel. Nickel spray. I'll just undo this. I had this just done up there just for the display. We'll put some nickel inside this one as well. Okay. Alright, so we'll get our 1 16" spanner again. We'll get our shifter this time and we'll just nip that up firm. Has not got to be super tight. Then we'll put the steering stop in the correct way. Bring him out over the knuckle there. Bit of CRC nickel in there. And do this nut up. So just make sure it's all the way home here. Nip him up. Okay, lovely. Okay, we'll put this up out of the way. We'll put some nickel spray everywhere. We don't want it getting all buggered up on us. Now, what I do here is just bring that towards the back just a little bit. And that gives us clearance then that we can just screw this on. I'll take these off just to... There we go. And with this fella here, you can pop that there and turn this one in until it's just close to where this one was, and then you'll be reasonably close to where you need to be for your toe-in, your front axle toe-in adjustment. So that sits there. That sits there, probably a couple of turns, and look, that will do for the moment. And this nut, we'll just leave that loose. There's no need to tighten that as yet. Now, up and in. Put the castellated nut on. Actually, what size is that nut? 1/16", which I think is around 27 millimetres. 1/16 seems to fit it nicely. And at this stage, we can tighten this right up and put the split pin in so we know it's done, it's nice and safe. And the idea is now that once we get the wheels on and we can adjust our wheel alignment, we can go left and right here. Now, with the new end on the other end there, you normally haven't got to hold anything, but look, if you did need to, you could probably leave that clamp off and go, but look, it just works well. You can put a spanner on the other side and lock it against the axle if it becomes a problem, but what we're looking at is you're trying to get it pretty well the same distance from the end of the knuckle here, or even from in on the end of the ram there to the centre of here, both sides, and that way when the wheels are going forward and you turn left or right, you'll have an even amount of turn each way. So I'll just tighten nut up under here. That might need a bit of a bar on it too. Just hold it down into the taper. Yeah, that's good. The taper, it's not turning in the taper. Alright, so that's tight. And look, that's all there is to it. I'll go and do the other side, and once we get the wheels on, all I do is run a tape measure at kingpin height, or sometimes the axle gets in the road here, the drive shaft, but run a tape measure out and touch the rim, the outer rim, touch the rim with the tape and touch it on the other side, then measure it and get it running straight ahead, and yeah, look, you won't have any trouble. It'll be a good job. So there you go. That's just a quick video on that. Yeah, this is still loose, so I can adjust the toe in when I need to. So hopefully, yeah, that gives you a bit of an indication on, a bit of an idea, more than likely, on how to put your own steering knuckles on.